What's exciting is when you see where this company started.
Polo Ralph Lauren just launched a new version of its iconic polo shirt.
Ralph Lauren launches a clothing rental service. Is this the start of a new trend?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Giant Success Stories. Today we're taking a look behind the iconic polo pony to explore Ralph Lauren's untold story. The brand is associated with classic American style, but there's more to Ralph Lauren than you might think. From a Bronx childhood to a multi-billion-dollar fashion empire, Ralph Lauren's journey is one of ambition, reinvention, and a whole lot of personality. So, hold on, fashion fans, because we're about to discover the untold truth of Ralph Lauren. We'll be uncovering the man's fascinating journey, from his humble beginnings to becoming a fashion icon. From Ralph Lifshitz to Ralph Lauren, a Bronx boy's dream. Our story begins in 1939 in the Bronx borough of New York City. Born Ralph Lifshitz, the future fashion icon grew up in a modest household. His parents were Jewish immigrants who came from Belarus. He was the youngest of 4 children. In his teens, he changed his last name to Lauren, along with his brother because of bullying. Lauren went to school in New York City. He started college but left after 2 years to pursue a different path. It's interesting to note that Ralph Lauren is not the only successful fashion designer who grew up in the Bronx during this time. Calvin Klein and Robert Denning are also from that same community. This passion didn't fade away. After serving in the army, Ralph entered the world of fashion, starting as a salesman. However, he felt restricted by the existing styles. He envisioned a more classic, timeless look for men, something that wasn't readily available at the time. Despite financial limitations, young Ralph displayed a deep fascination with style. He would often sketch his own designs, inspired by Hollywood movies and the glamorous world he saw on screen. The birth of a brand. The Polo Revolution. Ralph Lauren's career in fashion started after his time in the Army. Between 1962 and 1964, he served in the United States Army. After leaving the Army, he took a sales job at Brooks Brothers for a short time. Then he moved on to another sales position at a necktie company called Ravets. In 1964, at the age of 28, Ralph Lauren was working for a company that made ties called Beau Brummel. He saw an opportunity and convinced the company president to allow him to design his own line of ties. This was the beginning of his own fashion brand. Finally, in 1967, Ralph Lauren launched his own company, Ralph Lauren Corporation, and started selling his first product, men's ties. In 1967, with a loan and a strong belief in his vision, Ralph launched his own line of men's neckties. He rejected the wide, loud ties popular at the time and offered a narrower, more refined design. The key differentiator? His ties were wider than skinny ties, but thinner than the bulky options dominating the market. This relatively small detail resonated with a growing segment of men seeking a more stylish look. But Ralph wasn't content with just ties. He envisioned a complete lifestyle brand. The name Polo wasn't chosen because Ralph was a polo player. He wasn't. But because the sport embodied a sense of elegance and class that he wanted to associate with his brand. Inspired by his love of sports, Ralph Lauren launched his first complete menswear collection named Polo in 1968. He started small, working from a single drawer in a showroom at the Empire State Building, and even delivering his designs to stores himself. By 1969, his work gained recognition, and Bloomingdale's, a leading department store in New York City, became the first store to sell his menswear exclusively, even giving him his own boutique inside their store. In 1971, Ralph Lauren Corporation expanded to women's clothing. They launched a line of tailored shirts, featuring the now famous polo player emblem for the first time on the cuffs. The following year, they introduced their first complete collection for women. This year also marked a milestone for American fashion, as Lauren opened the first freestanding store for an American designer on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills, California. The Ralph Lauren Corporation introduced a now iconic cotton mesh polo shirt in 1972. This shirt, with the polo player logo and available in many colors, became a symbol of the preppy style, a signature look for Ralph Lauren. Their famous ad campaign tagline even stated, "Every team has its color. Polo has 17. Ralph Lauren's clothing is more than fashion and entered pop culture. In 1974, he designed the costumes for the male cast in the movie The Great Gatsby, featuring 1920s-style suits and sweaters. He even created a special pink suit for the main character, Jay Gatsby, played by Robert Redford. A few years later, in 1977, the clothing of Diane Keaton and Woody Allen throughout the movie Annie Hall was by Ralph Lauren. The all-American dream, creating a lifestyle. One of Ralph Lauren's greatest achievements was creating a brand that goes beyond clothing. He understood the power of storytelling and used his designs to tell a specific narrative, the American dream. His clothing evoked feelings of nostalgia, classic Hollywood glamour, and a bygone era of elegance. He showcased his vision through runway shows that resembled movie sets, transporting audiences to a world of luxury and timeless style. This approach resonated with not just men, but women as well. Ralph Lauren expanded his brand to include women's wear, capturing a similar essence of effortless elegance and style. Fragrances. In 1978, Ralph Lauren launched his first fragrances. These were created by his company, Warner Lauren Limited. The launch took place at Bloomingdale's department store. An interesting fact is that Lauren introduced two scents at the same time. Lauren, a perfume for women, arrived on March 12th, while Polo, a cologne for men, followed on March 26th. This was the first time a designer had launched fragrances for both men and women simultaneously. The company then expanded to Europe in 1978 and opened its first international store, the first ever, for an American designer on London's New Bond Street in 1981. The legacy of Ralph Lauren. In the late 1900s, Ralph Lauren's business kept growing. In 1986, he opened his most important store in a fancy mansion on Madison Avenue in New York City. He worked with a designer named Naomi Leff to make the store look luxurious, like it was originally built. In 1992, Ralph Lauren launched a new clothing line called Polo Sport. This was followed by many more clothing lines over the next few years. He also bought some other clothing brands, including Ralph Lauren Purple Label in 1995 and Lauren Ralph Lauren in 1996. In 1997, Ralph Lauren's company started selling stock to the public on the New York Stock Exchange. This means anyone could invest in the company. In 1999, a restaurant called RL opened next to a big Ralph Lauren store in Chicago. This was the first of several Ralph Lauren restaurants. Philanthropy efforts. Ralph Lauren has a long history of giving back. They've supported causes like breast cancer research since 1989, with initiatives like Fashion Targets Breast Cancer and the Pink Pony campaign. The company also encourages volunteerism through their employee program and the Polo Jeans GIVE campaign. Their philanthropy extends beyond healthcare, with contributions to preserving the Star-Spangled Banner and restoring a famous art school in Paris. Ralph Lauren partnered with a cancer center in Europe to build a new research facility. During the COVID-19 pandemic 2020, Ralph Lauren donated money and made medical supplies. In 2022, the Ralph Lauren Foundation announced new funding for several cancer centers. The future of Ralph Lauren, evolving with the times. Ralph Lauren, now in his 80s, has stepped back from day-to-day operations, but his influence remains. The brand continues to evolve, adapting to changing trends while staying true to its core values of quality, heritage, and timeless style. The company launched its own website and online shop, polo.com, in 2000. In 2007, Ralph Lauren Corporation took full ownership of the website and renamed it ralphlauren.com. They launched a new brand called American Living in 2008, which was sold exclusively at JCPenney stores. This was a major collaboration for both companies. In 2015, Stefan Larsson became the new CEO, while Ralph Lauren remained the chairman and head designer. Ralph Lauren himself has been featured on the cover of many magazines throughout his career. To celebrate the brand's 50th anniversary in 2018, a special fashion show was held in Central Park, with many famous guests attending. So, what have we learned about Ralph Lauren? He's a story of passion, determination, and a keen eye for what people want. He's a reminder that even a Bronx boy with a dream can build a fashion empire. Let us know in the comments below what surprised you the most about Ralph Lauren's story. And if you're interested in learning more about the history of fashion, hit that subscribe button for more content like this.